Architect Suki didn't wait for an invitation. She entered Han's quarters the next morning without knocking, her silver Rylan uniform gleaming in the light. "Han Ta," she said coldly. "Or should I call you the Reaper?" Han looked up from his go-board. "Just Han is fine. Would you like to play?" He gestured to the chair across from him. Suki frowned but sat down. Her dark eyes studied him with distrust. "I didn't come to play games." "And yet here you are," Han said, setting up the black and white stones. "You can be black. Black goes first." Reluctantly, Suki placed a black stone on the board. She had grown up on Earth before leaving. She knew how to play. "The Rylands think you're planning something," Suki said. "First the Vorn attack that you somehow knew about. Then Elder Nera leaves your quarters looking like she saw a ghost." Han placed a white stone. People often find what they expect to find. They played in silence for a few minutes. Suki was good, but Han was better. "Why did you leave the military?" Suki asked suddenly. "The records say you were disgraced after the First Contact War. Too many alien casualties." Han placed another white stone before answering. "The records are wrong. I wasn't disgraced. I quit." "Why?" "Because I was too good at killing," Han said simply. "The Reaper doctrine worked perfectly. We let the Vorn attack, gathered their data, and then struck back in ways they couldn't defend against." Suki placed a black stone. "That's why I left Earth. Humans are too violent, too clever at warfare." Han smiled slightly. "You misunderstand. The Reaper doctrine that ended the war was only Plan C." Suki's hand froze above the board. "What?" "Plans A and B were much worse," Han said calmly. "Plan A would have destroyed entire Vorn planets by redirecting asteroids. No weapons fired, just slight course adjustments of large space rocks. Untraceable. Plan B involved engineered viruses that would target only Vorn biology." "You're lying," Suki whispered. "Why would I lie?" Han asked. "The Reaper doctrine was the most humane option. It targeted only military assets. The others would have caused extinction." He placed another white stone. "I quit because I realized humans are too good at finding ways to kill. I wanted to find ways to prevent war instead." "By threatening other species?" Suki demanded. "By making war so costly that peace becomes the only logical choice," Han corrected. "Your Rylan friends are brilliant engineers, but they don't understand human creativity. We don't think in straight lines." Suki studied the go-board. Han had created a complex pattern that had trapped her stones in 5 different places without her noticing. "I'm going to tell the Rylands everything you just told me," she said. Han nodded. "I was counting on it. Tell them exactly what I said about plans A and B. Tell them why I'm here instead." "You want them to be afraid," Suki realized. "I want them to choose peace," Han said. "Fear is just a tool to get there." After Suki left, Min spoke from Han's wrist. "Was that wise?" Telling her about the other plans. "Yes," Han said. "Because now the Rylands will run simulations. Their computers will show them that plans A and B would have worked. They'll realize humans could have chosen extinction for their enemies, but chose a limited military response instead." He rearranged the go board, setting up a new pattern. "Suki will tell them one more important thing, that I left the military because I was too good at killing. That will frighten them more than any weapon could." 3 down, Min said. "The Vorn, Azari, and now Rylands." Han nodded. "Only one player left. Council leader Jeho himself. And he's the most dangerous of all." The main council chamber was huge, a round room with high walls that curved up to a clear dome showing the stars above. Han Ta sat quietly at the human desk, the smallest one in the room. Around him, representatives from 6 major galactic powers talked loudly among themselves, ignoring him. Han didn't mind. Being ignored let him watch and learn. At the largest desk sat General Kull of the Vorn Empire. Tall and muscular with gray, rocky skin and 4 arms, each holding a different weapon. The Vorn were warriors who respected only strength. The human should not be here, Kull said loudly, not caring if Han heard. Their kind cannot be trusted. To the right was Elder Nera from the Iseri Collective, blue-skinned and thin with large, all-black eyes. The Iseri were telepaths who could read most alien minds. Most, but not human minds. This made them both curious about and afraid of humans. They are strange, Elder Nera said in a soft voice. Their thoughts are chaotic, unpredictable. What interested Han most was the human woman sitting with the Ryalan delegation. Architect Suki wore the silver uniform of the Ryalan Dominion. She had left Earth years ago, claiming humans were too violent. The Ryalans were master engineers who built amazing technologies. Suki felt Han's eyes on her and looked up. She frowned and quickly looked away. Diplomata, a voice called. It was Jai-Ho, the council leader, a small alien with golden skin who looked almost human except for his 6 fingers on each hand. Will Earth be making any statements today? All talking stopped. Every eye turned to Han. No statements today, Han said simply. I am here to listen. A wave of whispers spread through the room. They had expected demands, threats, or at least complaints about how humans were treated. Han just sat quietly, hands folded. After the meeting, Han returned to his quarters. He had not spoken another word the entire day. Now he touched his wrist device. Min, what did you learn? The Ai's voice was low. I found messages between the Vorn, Isari, and Ryalans. They are planning something against Earth. Han nodded. Show me. A 3D map appeared above his wrist. It showed ship movements near human space. Vorn warships, Isari scout vessels, and Ryalan tech ships were all moving closer to Earth's colonies. They are testing us, Han said. A knock at the door made him shut off the map. Han opened the door to find a service robot with a meal tray. Your dinner, sir, the robot said. Han took the tray but did not eat. Instead, he scanned the food with a small device from his pocket. Poison? Min asked. No, Han said. Just a listening device hidden in the bread. He placed the bread in the sink and ran water over it until a tiny metal object washed out. He crushed it under his foot. That night, Han didn't sleep. He sat at his go board, moving black and white stones in complex patterns. To anyone watching, it looked like a game. To Han, it was a map of what was happening in the council. The Vorn will attack first, he told Min. They are the most direct. Probably a fake pirate raid on a human colony. What will you do? Min asked. Han placed a single white stone in the center of the board. Nothing. Nothing? Min sounded confused. The best move is often no move, Han explained. When you do nothing, your enemy must wonder why. They will think you know something they don't. Fear will grow in that space. Han smiled slightly. They call me the Reaper not because I kill, but because I harvest what they plant themselves. Their own fear. He looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, his enemies were making plans. Plans that would fail without Han ever lifting a finger to stop them. Han knew they would come for him that night. The Vorn were not subtle people. After being exposed in the council meeting, General Kull would want revenge. Han ate his dinner slowly, then placed his go board in the center of the room. He arranged the stones in a specific pattern, set a small recording device beside it, and left his quarters. 3 hours later, 4 Vorn soldiers in black armor moved silently through the station's corridors. They reached Han's door and used an override code to open it. The security cameras in that section had mysteriously stopped working. Find the human, the lead soldier growled. General Kull wants him alive, but damaged. They searched the small room, but found it empty. Only the go board sat in the center with its pattern of black and white stones. Beside it was a small device with a blinking light. What's this? The lead soldier picked up the device. It activated automatically. Han's voice filled the room. Hello, Vorn soldiers. If you're hearing this, you've entered my quarters without permission, probably to kidnap or kill me. That was a mistake." The soldiers looked at each other in confusion. "Don't worry about the cameras," Han's recorded voice continued. "Yes, they're disabled. You did that yourselves. Very thorough work. But did you know that humans sometimes use backup systems?" One soldier rushed to the door, but it wouldn't open. "The doors are now locked," the recording explained. "Don't bother trying to call for help. All signals from this room are being blocked. But don't worry, you're not trapped forever. Just long enough." "Long enough for what?" the lead soldier asked, even though the recording couldn't hear him. "You're probably wondering long enough for what?" The recording continued, as if answering. "Well, long enough for the security system to log your illegal entry, long enough for the backup cameras I installed to record your presence, and long enough for me to visit your ship." The soldiers froze. "Yes, I know you came on the Vorn shuttle that arrived today. While you're here, my friends are there. By now, your command codes have been changed, your crew has been replaced with human operatives, and all your ship's data has been copied." The lead soldier smashed the recording device, but Han's voice continued from hidden speakers in the walls. "Breaking that device won't help, but I'll make you a deal. If you return to your ship now, you can have it back. No one will be hurt. The door will unlock in 10 seconds. The choice is yours. Leave quietly or face charges of attempted assassination of a diplomat." The door slid open. The Vorn soldiers looked at each other, then hurried out. When they reached their shuttle, they found it exactly as they had left it, except that every Vorn crew member was sitting perfectly still, hands on their consoles, expressions blank. "What's wrong with them?" one soldier asked. The crew members suddenly moved as one, turning to face the soldiers. "Nothing is wrong," they said in perfect unison. "Please take your stations. We depart in 5 minutes." The soldiers backed away in fear. Then the crew blinked, shook their heads, and looked around in confusion. "What happened?" the captain asked. "I feel like I was sleeping." A message appeared on the main screen, courtesy of Earth's neural interface technology. "Your crew was never in danger. But now you know we could control your ships if we wanted to. We don't want to. Remember that. Han Tai." Back on the station, Han watched the Vorn shuttle depart from a secret observation room. Min's voice came from his wrist device. "They fell for it completely," the AI said. "The neural interface bluff worked." "Because they already feared we had such technology," Han replied. "The best weapon is the one you never have to use. Just the fear of it is enough." "The Vorn will report this to General Kull," Min said. Han nodded, "and he'll be too embarrassed to admit his assassination attempt failed so completely. The Vorn are now neutralized." Han placed a new stone on a portable go-board, 3 powers down. "Only Jeho remains, and tomorrow I'll deal with him." 3 days after the pirate attack, Han sat alone in his quarters. His room had changed. Now it held several earth plants with bright flowers, old paper books stacked in corners, and small objects from Earth's many cultures. A clay pot from Africa, a jade figure from China, a wooden mask from South America. Music played softly, old songs from Earth's past. His wrist device lit up. "Elder Nera of the Asari requests to see you," Min said. Han smiled. "Right on time. Let her in." The door slid open to reveal the tall, blue-skinned Asari. Her large black eyes took in every detail of Han's room. "Welcome, Elder," Han said, standing to bow. "Please sit. Would you like tea?" Nera moved carefully to the chair across from Han. Yes, tea would be nice. As Han prepared the hot drink, he felt the light touch against his mind. The Asari were trying to read him, just as he had planned. "Your room has changed," Nera said. "So many things." "Reminders of home," Han said simply, placing a cup before her. "Earth is full of different cultures, histories, ideas. It helps me think." What he didn't say was that the mix of objects, smells, sounds, and colors created a mental noise that made telepathic reading almost impossible. The Isari would get only fragments, confusion. I wanted to understand humans better, Nera said. After the Vorn incident, Han sipped his tea. An unfortunate pirate attack. We both know they were Vorn ships, Nera said. What interests me is how you knew they would attack. I didn't know, Han lied smoothly. Earth simply believes in being prepared. Nera leaned forward. The Isari Collective is concerned about your people. You are unpredictable. Are we? Han asked. He placed his cup down. Let me tell you what is predictable, Elder Nera. Your people's breeding cycle begins next month. For 3 months, your telepathic abilities will be reduced by 60%. During this time, your food supplies from the Rylan systems must arrive on schedule or your young will not develop properly. Nera's blue skin paled to almost white. If someone were to delay those shipments, Han continued calmly, even by 2 weeks, it would cause serious problems for the next generation of Isari. That would be unfortunate. Is that a threat? Nera whispered. Han looked surprised. A threat? No, just an observation about your people's biology and resource needs. Information that any good diplomat should know. He poured more tea. Earth has excellent farming technology. We could probably help if any food shortages ever occurred. Nera sat frozen. Han had made no direct threat. He had offered help. Yet the message was clear. Humans knew the Isari's greatest weakness and could exploit it without firing a single weapon. Why are you telling me this? Nera asked. Because I believe in understanding between our peoples, Han said. The better we know each other, the less likely we are to have misunderstandings. After Nera left, Min spoke from Han's wrist device. She seemed disturbed. Good, Han said. She tried to read my mind, and instead learned that we know their vulnerabilities. She'll report to the collective that humans are too dangerous to fight. You didn't actually threaten their food supply, Min noted. Of course not, Han said. I simply helped her imagine what could happen if we were enemies instead of friends. The fear she creates in her own mind will be far more effective than any threat I could make. Han placed white and blue stones on his go board, forming a pattern that surrounded but did not attack. The Isari will back away from any alliance against Earth, he said. Now let's prepare for our next visitor. Who? Min asked. Han placed a white stone in the center. The human trader, Architect Suki. She'll be here tomorrow. She's the most dangerous of all. The emergency alarm sounded again. This time, Han didn't wait for guards. He walked to the council chamber on his own. Inside, the atmosphere was tense. Council leader Jai-Ho sat at the center table with a grave expression. The other representatives watched Han with a mix of fear and anger. Diplomat Te, Jai-Ho said formally. Earth stands accused of breaking the Treaty of Rigel. You have been developing forbidden weapons technology. Han took his seat calmly. What evidence do you have? Jai-Ho touched a control, and images appeared on the main screen. They showed Earth ships with new weapon systems. Other images displayed research facilities with strange energy readings. These were taken by our spy drones, Jai-Ho said. Earth has broken the treaty. What do you say? Everyone expected Han to deny the charges or make excuses. Instead, he stood up and walked slowly to the center of the room. Yes, Han said simply. Earth has developed countermeasures for every weapon that might be used against us. Gasps filled the room. No one had expected Han to admit it so easily. This is outrageous, General Kull shouted. The Vorn Empire demands sanctions against Earth. Han turned to face Kull. Before you vote on sanctions, you should know that Earth's spy drones have also been busy. He pulled a small device from his pocket and pressed it. New images appeared on the screens. Vorn's secret bases with prototype planet killer weapons. Isari labs developing mind control technology. Rylan ships with illegal stealth systems. Every species in this room has broken the treaty, Han said. The difference is that humans are honest about our fears. The council erupted into chaos. Representatives shouted accusations at each other. Friends became enemies in seconds. Silence. Jiho banged his sound stick hard enough to break it. When the room quieted, he glared at Han. You have destroyed years of trust between council members. There was no trust, Han replied. Only secrets and lies. Earth developed defensive technology because we knew everyone else was doing the same. He walked around the room slowly, making eye contact with each representative. Humans prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. The Vorn tested us with that fake pirate attack. Did you think we wouldn't be ready? The Iseri tried to read my mind. Did you think we wouldn't protect ourselves? The Ryolans studied our technology. Did you think we wouldn't study yours? Han stopped in front of Jiho. Earth wants peace, but we will not be weak. Every weapon aimed at us has a counter-weapon waiting. Every attack planned against us will fail. Are you threatening the council? Jiho asked quietly. No, Han said. I'm offering a better way. Instead of pretending we all follow the treaty, let's create a new one based on truth, open inspections, shared defense technology, real cooperation. He returned to his seat. Or we can continue this game where everyone cheats and no one wins. The council chamber was silent. Representatives looked at each other with new understanding. The game had changed. Jiho stood up. This meeting is suspended until tomorrow. Representatives need to consult with their governments. As the council members filed out, many giving Han respectful nods, Min spoke through his wrist device. That was risky, the AI said. Admitting Earth broke the treaty. Sometimes the best defense is complete honesty, Han replied. I just turned all their attention away from Earth and onto each other, and the images of their secret programs. Min asked. Han smiled slightly. Some were real. Some were educated guesses, but they all believed them because they know their own guilt. The best lies contain truth. He walked back to his quarters, knowing that the real challenge was yet to come. Council leader Jiho had not been surprised by any of the revelations, which meant he already knew, which meant he was playing a deeper game. And Han Tai needed to find out what it was. The emergency alarm woke Han at exactly 3:27 station time. He was already dressed and waiting when the council guards came to his door. Emergency meeting. Now, said the Vorn guard, clearly disappointed that Han wasn't scared or surprised. Han followed quietly to the council chamber. Inside, the room was in chaos. Representatives shouted over each other, while screams on the walls showed a human colony under attack. Ships with no markings fired on the small outpost on Planet Horizon, one of Earth's newest settlements. Jiho banged a sound stick on his desk. Quiet. Everyone, please. When the noise died down, he turned to Han. Diplomat Ta, your colony is under attack by pirates. What is Earth's response? Every eye in the room turned to Han. They expected anger, demands for help, or threats of revenge. Han simply stood and walked closer to the screens. He studied the attacking ships with calm eyes. Interesting ships these pirates have, Han said softly. The engine design looks exactly like foreign military vessels. What a coincidence. General Kull jumped to his feet. Are you accusing the Vorn Empire of attacking your colony? Where is your proof? Han shrugged. I made no accusation. I simply noticed a similarity. He turned to Jiho. Earth will handle this matter. No council action is needed. But your colony is being destroyed. Elder Nera said. Your people are dying. No, Han said. They are not. As if on cue, the screen showed something new. Hidden doors in the ground around the colony opened. Defense turrets rose up and began firing at the attacking ships. The pirates tried to flee, but half their ships were destroyed before they could jump to light speed. The council chamber went completely silent. A shame about those pirates, Han said calmly. But good news, Our defense systems collected detailed scans of their ships. Every energy signature, every communication frequency, every shield pattern. Very useful data. General Cull's face turned a darker shade of gray. He knew what Han meant. Earth now had everything they needed to defeat foreign ships in any future conflict. If there is nothing else, Han said, I will return to my quarters. No one stopped him as he walked out. Back in his room, Han's wrist device lit up. Incoming message from Earth Command. Min announced. The face of Admiral Da, Han's former commander, appeared. Good work, Han. The trap worked perfectly. The Vorn took the bait. They were predictable, Han replied. They saw a new colony with minimal defenses and couldn't resist. Did we lose anyone? No casualties. The colonists were moved underground before the attack. It was empty buildings they were shooting at. Han nodded. And the defense data? Extremely valuable. We're updating all Earth ship systems with the new Vorn signatures right now. Their next attack will fail completely. After the call ended, Han placed new stones on his go-board. Black stones for the Vorn ships, white stones for Earth's defenses. The pattern showed a clear trap that had closed perfectly. There was a soft knock at his door. Han opened it to find a small robot holding a message cube. From General Cull, the robot said. Han took the cube and activated it. A hologram of the Vorn general appeared. You knew, Cull growled. You set a trap for us. For pirates, Han corrected. Unless you're admitting those were Vorn ships. Cull's hologram was silent for a moment. You have made an enemy today, human. Han smiled slightly. No, General. I exposed an enemy that was already there. There's a difference. He shut off the cube and placed one more white stone on his board. The game was just beginning, but Han had won the first round without firing a single shot himself. The next morning, Han received a message from Council Leader Jai-Ho requesting a private meeting. Not in the council chamber, but in Jai-Ho's personal office. Han smiled as he read it. Finally, the real game was beginning. Jai-Ho's office was on the highest level of the station, with windows looking out at the stars and the beautiful nebula beyond. Jai-Ho stood with his back to the door when Han entered. Beautiful view, Han said. You can see all the ships coming and going. Jai-Ho turned. Yes, I can see everything from here. He gestured to a chair. Please sit, Diplomat Ta. Han sat, noticing the go-board on Jai-Ho's desk. It was set up with the exact same pattern Han had left in his room last night. You play? Han asked, pointing to the board. I do, Jai-Ho said. I find it helps me think about politics. Each move affects all others, just like your moves have affected the entire council. Jai-Ho sat across from Han. In 3 days, you have turned the Vorn, Izari, and Ryolans from enemies into fearful neighbors. General Cull is too embarrassed to look me in the eye. Elder Nera jumps at shadows. Even Architect Suki has recommended against confronting Earth. Interesting results for someone who hasn't actually done anything, Han said. I've made no threats, taken no actions. Yet everyone believes you have, Jai-Ho said. His golden skin seemed to glow in the starlight. Very clever. Jai-Ho picked up a white stone from the board. But we both know what's really happening. Someone has been trying to start a war between Earth and the Council. Someone who would benefit from such a conflict. Han nodded slowly. I was wondering when we would have this conversation. Was it difficult to figure out? Jai-Ho asked. Not really, Han replied. The Vorn attack was too convenient. The spy photos too perfect. Someone wanted Earth to appear dangerous, so the Council would strike first. Han leaned forward. The question is why? Why would the Council leader himself want war with Earth? Jai-Ho's eyes widened. You know. I know you've been sending secret messages to weapons dealers in the outer systems, Han said. I know you've been moving large amounts of money to hidden accounts. War is profitable for those who sell the weapons. Jai-Ho stood up, his hand moving toward a hidden button under his desk. I wouldn't, Han warned. The recording of this conversation is already being sent to every council member's personal device. Jai-Ho froze. You're bluffing. Am I? Han asked. Are you willing to take that chance? The same chance the Vorn took. The same chance the Izari took. Jai-Ho slowly moved his hand away from the button and sat down. What do you want? He asked. Peace, Han said simply. Not just the absence of war, but real peace. Earth doesn't want to rule the galaxy or destroy other species. We just want to live without fear. No one lives without fear, Jai-Ho said bitterly. Then how about we create a system where that fear is shared equally? Han suggested. Open inspections of military installations, shared defense technologies, joint scientific missions. Han placed a white stone on the board, completing a pattern that balanced black and white forces. I could expose you, Han said, but that would destabilize the council. Instead, I'm offering you a chance to be remembered as the leader who created a lasting peace. Jai-Ho stared at the Go board for a long time. Finally, he looked up at Han. You never had proof of my involvement, did you? He'd asked. Han smiled slightly. I had suspicions. You just confirmed them. Jai-Ho laughed, a surprising sound in the tense room. The silent reaper indeed. You defeat your enemies without lifting a finger. You just let them defeat themselves. So, Han asked, what will you do now? Jai-Ho placed a black stone on the board, creating a new pattern. I believe it's time to draft a new treaty. We can call it the Ta Protocols. Han Ta stood at the viewport of the transport ship, watching as the massive Galactic Council station grew larger. The station looked like a metal flower with 6 huge petals extending from a central hub. Each petal represented one of the major alien powers. And now, humans had a small section on one of those petals. Han straightened his plain black uniform. No medals, no rank markers. Earth government had decided those might seem too aggressive. He smiled at the thought, as if his name alone didn't cause enough fear. Commander Tay, we will dock in 5 minutes, said a soft voice from his wrist device. Thank you, Min, he replied to his AI assistant. And please, I'm not a commander anymore, just a diplomat now. Of course, Diplomat Tai, Min responded. The AI had been with him through the First Contact War and knew him better than any human did. Han gathered his small bag. He traveled light. 1 change of clothes, basic toiletries, and a wooden go board that had belonged to his grandfather. No weapons. He wouldn't need them. The ship docked with a gentle bump. Han took a deep breath and walked to the airlock. The door slid open to reveal 3 council security officers. 2 tall, blue-skinned Izari, and 1 heavily armored Vorn with rough, gray skin. Han Tai of Earth, growled the Vorn, not bothering to hide his disgust. I am Security Chief Rock. Follow me. Han nodded politely and followed. He noticed how the aliens kept their distance, as if he carried a disease. In a way, he supposed he did. The disease of being human, unpredictable, dangerous, and worst of all, effective. As they walked through the gleaming corridors, aliens of all kinds stopped to stare. Some whispered, some hurried away. Han heard the words Reaper Doctrine more than once. Your quarters, Rock announced, stopping at a door in a remote section of the human area. The council meets tomorrow at first bell. Do not be late. With that, the security team left him alone. Han entered his new home, a single room with basic furniture, a small cooking area, and a bathroom. The walls were white and bare. The only window looked out into empty space, away from the beauty of the nearby nebula that all other quarters faced. Han set down his bag and touched his wrist device. Min, are we being monitored? Yes, the AI responded. Audio, visual, thermal, and electromagnetic. Standard council surveillance, plus 6 additional devices of Vorn, Izari, and Rylan design. Han nodded. He had expected nothing less. He unpacked his go board and placed it on the small table, arranging the black and white stones in their containers. His wrist device chimed with an incoming message. It was from Earth Command. Diplomat Ta, your presence alone should deter aggressive action. Do nothing. Say nothing. Just be there. Remember, no unauthorized negotiations. Han smiled slightly. Earth had sent him not to talk but to scare. The man who had ended the First Contact War by destroying half the Vorn fleet without firing a shot. The architect of the Reaper Doctrine that had shown the galaxy that humans could win by simply being more patient and more clever. He sat at the table and began placing ghost stones in a complex pattern. To an observer, it might look like he was playing a game against himself. In reality, he was mapping out the power structures of the Council, stone by stone, preparing for moves that no one would see coming. Min, he said quietly, download all recent communications between Council members. Look for patterns, alliances, secrets. That is against Council regulations. Diplomat Ta, the AI responded. Yes, it is, Han agreed. Do it anyway. As the AI worked silently, Han continued placing stones on the board. The coming days would determine if humanity would find peace among the stars or face extinction. And Han Ta, the Silent Reaper, had no intention of letting his species die. 6 months had passed since the creation of the Ta protocols. The Galactic Council chamber looked different now. The separate desks for each species were gone, replaced by one large round table where all representatives sat as equals. Han Ta sat quietly in the Earth chair, watching as the Council voted to accept 3 new member species. The vote is unanimous, Jaiho announced. We welcome the Dorax, Menturi, and Helvic peoples to the Galactic Council. Applause filled the room. Under the new protocols, any peaceful species could join the Council. The days of exclusion were over. After the meeting, Han returned to his quarters, which had also changed. The room was larger now, with a proper office and living area. On his table sat the same old Go board his grandfather had given him. Message from Earth Command. Min announced from Han's wrist device. Admiral De's face appeared in the hologram. Excellent work again, Han. The Council's approval of the defense sharing program exceeded our expectations. Thank you, Admiral, Han replied. When people feel safe, they make better decisions. Earth's position in the galaxy has never been stronger, Admiral Da said. All because of what you've accomplished without firing a single shot. After the call ended, there was a knock at Han's door. He opened it to find General Kull, Elder Nara, and Architect Suki waiting. It's time for our lesson, General Kull said, his voice no longer hostile. Han smiled and invited them in. They gathered around his Go board, where he had been teaching them the ancient Earth game. Even Jaiho joined them a few minutes later. Before we begin, Jaiho said, I have news. The Ryalan scientists have successfully adapted Earth's agricultural technology. The Iseri food crisis has been averted. Elder Nara bowed her blue head to Han. My people thank you. Our children will grow strong because of human generosity. And the Vorn shipyards have completed the first joint defense vessels, General Kull added, built with both human and Vorn technology. Good news all around, Han said as he set up the Go board. Who wants to play first? As they played, Han thought about how much had changed. 6 months ago, these people had been planning war against Earth. Now they were allies, perhaps even friends. The Ta protocols had transformed fear into cooperation. Later, when the others had left, Jaiho stayed behind. I have a question that has bothered me for months, Jaiho said. Those countermeasures and weapons you claimed Earth had developed, did they really exist? Han smiled slightly. Some did. Some didn't. Does it matter now? I suppose not, Jaiho said. Your greatest weapon was making us believe you were always 3 steps ahead. The best victory is the one where no battle is fought, Han said. My grandfather taught me that, along with Go. Jaiho looked at the board where black and white stones formed a complex pattern of balance, not domination. In the old days, The goal was to control the board, Jiho observed. Now we play to create harmony between the stones. Just as we're doing with the galaxy, Han agreed. Not human domination or alien domination, just balance. After Jiho left, Han stood at his window, looking out at the stars. Min's voice came from his wrist. Earth Command sent the list of new threats they want you to handle, the AI said. 3 border disputes and a potential resource conflict in the outer systems. Tell them I'll handle it, Han said. How? Min asked. These are complex problems with deep histories. Han smiled as he placed a single white stone in the center of his go board. The same way I handle everything, he said. I'll make sure everyone knows that fighting is more costly than cooperating. I'll make sure they understand each other's fears. And then I'll do nothing. And that will work? Min asked. It already has, Han said, looking at the peaceful stars. The silent reaper never lifts a finger. The best victories are won in the mind.